There are these few streets in the city center full of gay bars and clubs. It's called Gay Village and I've had more fun there than in any other place in my life. My confidence increased significantly during the time I spent here. I am now surrounded by open-minded people and feel free to be my true self completely.
Să iau înainte.
Treci strada, dacă nu e nicio mașină, hai.
Trebuie.
In Romania, there was this referendum that was trying to consolidate the prosecution of gay marriage. In my opinion, the referendum was just there to take some of the attention of the crowd from our corrupted politicians and throw it towards the LGBT community. Huge fear-inducing campaigns of disinformation were spread over Romania, telling people how we were going to steal their children and turn them gay. "Are you gay?" "Yeah," I answered, and she continued while frowning. "That's gross, you should see a doctor about that." I was left in a daze trying to comprehend what gave somebody who I've just met the courage and insensitivity to tell me that in the face. But, before I knew it, I became used to it so much that I forgot how it's like to come to school and feel normal. I have never been to a gay club in Romania before. Here I can go out with guys and nobody would care. Walking on the streets and seeing gay couples holding hands in public and almost no hateful stares coming their way was quite a drastic change for me. The nightlife here seems a lot more welcoming than back home. People are just going out to have fun together and they don't judge what others do, so they don't mind whoever is part of the LGBT community. You never actually know which people you can trust. It's always a risk you have to take as a gay person. Sometimes you are accepted, but other times you have to deal with closed-minded people or simply ignore them. Even here in the UK, where society is better developed, I still met some ignorant people. Some insecurities and fears were certainly born. Being able to openly talk about it increased my confidence greatly and also made those insecurities fade away. I think the first time I knew something was different about me was when I was 9. The way I looked at guys was obviously different than the way I looked at girls, as there was a kind of interest involved. At the age of 12, I found an article about gay people, and at first I was reading out of curiosity, but then I realized that these things apply to me as well. I was confused at first, but I accepted myself from the beginning unlike others. The first time I came out was to my best friend, after like 4 years of keeping it a secret. It's always best to make sure that the people you are coming out to are really trustworthy. I learned about that the hard way.
My first thoughts were quite beneficial to my later development. No one has to know about this, or at least until even if they know, they can't affect my life. I told my best friend at that time about it, and she was fine with it. That gave me the courage to tell other people as well. What followed after this were 2 years full of bullying from people I felt were dumber than pigs. But I could only endure it, as I knew that the second I tried to retort anything, it would transform in a 10-1 battle rather than a 2-1. I knew that there was no secret anymore.
Anyway, as it wasn't anything too extreme, I completely ignored them and went on with my life.
Religion is one of the main reasons that people like me have been oppressed for so long.
Romanian people were not okay with the LGBT community from the start. Not enough information and religion to blame here. But surprisingly, the referendum didn't pass. And I feel that, in a way, this referendum was a good thing for the LGBT community in Romania, as many people actually did some research on the subject and learned about a different truth than what they were told before. I haven't been to church in a long time. Religion isn't necessarily a bad thing. It brings people together and also teaches about love and acceptance. Or at least that's what it should be about. I haven't been to a church since 5 years ago. I didn't feel quite comfortable being here. I'm uncomfortable because the church is not inviting for people like me.
I consider myself quite a spiritual person, but I could never stand anything preached in churches. Religion shouldn't be about hate and oppressing those different from you, which happens to be exactly what it is in Romania. There are too many families in Romania which would probably call a priest to exorcise you if they found out you are gay. I feel they are betraying me every time something homophobic comes out of their mouths, and that does happen sometimes. Betraying is when you go Saturday or Sunday morning to vote against your child. They didn't vote, but that was because they didn't want to give their vote to a corrupted politician, not out of their goodwill towards the LGBT community.
Religion has its advantages and disadvantages, and just because I happen to be one of the people that it can't really accept, that doesn't mean that I get to disregard the good things that it brings. Overall, coming here was one of the best decisions I could take. I am now surrounded by open-minded people and feel free to be my true self completely. Romania is still a few decades behind, being led by corrupt politicians who prevent society from developing. But I hope that things will improve in the future.